we moved out here, and I don't want to be a snob or anything, but there's not a whole lot of great barbecue happening in Washington. I might be biased because I lived there for a little while or what, but I love me some Kansas City barbecue. I'm gonna take the next rack off. I'm gonna set it here. I'm gonna just baste it so it looks nice and, saucy, and then wrap it so that it kind of sucks in some of that moisture. I like to feed people. I like experimenting and doing this, that, and the other, and I benefit. I get to eat it as well, and that's my ultimate goal, is to eat food that I like. Truthfully. My name is AJ Miller. I live in Pullman, Washington, and I own the Masterbuilt XL pellet smoker. I first got into smoking at about 2011. Lawrence is really close to Kansas City. When I moved there, I fell in love, and I loved the style of cooking, so I decided I wanted to try and do it on my own. I remember trying to do a Boston butt, one of my first times, and I cooked it to 165 and thought, done, and it was a waste of $12. It still was fine, I guess, but it was really not good. So I had an electric. It was a 30-inch electric, digital electric. I would like to say I think that was a good gateway drug for smoking. Taken out of context, cool. But it was really good for people like me who aren't quite 100% solid yet on what they're doing. Can I cut? Can we just keep going? So glad you're recording all of this struggle. But I feel like I graduated to big boy school with the XL pellet smoker. It's awesome. I named it Big Jim. You don't have to name yours, but if you want to, you should. This is the Masterbuilt pellet smoker, XL, because it's big. And what I really like about cooking with pellets specifically, you get a really good smoke ring, and you'll see that later with the brisket, I hope, God willing. What's really great about it is that the quality of the smoke is really good. A lot of times the smoke is almost clear, and that's what you want. If you're right here at this angle, you can see it. It's really clear, it's really wispy, like a cloud, right? But I don't know, the camera might not be able to pick it up, or the angle of the light, whatever, but it's the perfect amount of smoke. It's not heavy, it's not overbearing, it's gonna be just right, and that's what we want. We want that kind of thin blue smoke, and that's what we're getting. It's thin, it's blue, unlike me, which is not thin. Last year, 2017, I entered a barbecue competition, and I got third. For me, it was more validation that I was actually doing something good, something that tasted good, rather. To have people that didn't know me think that my brisket was worthwhile, that was really cool. And I was asked to do a couple of catering gigs, getting paid to do a hobby now, which is always fun. This is my recipe book. I write all kinds of stuff down. When I put things in, if I am catering something, I write down how much I made, what I need for it, lists, stuff like that. This is my rub. It has a bunch of different stuff in it. And I like to make it in this. I like to see it. I like the colors. It looks like sand art, and that may or may not be on purpose on my part. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. The smoke ring kind of blends in with the rub, and it's kind of it looks neat. It tastes great, right? But we also eat with our eyes, as Bobby Flay might say. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't say that. So I have this apron. My wife got this apron for me from a place called Martin's Barbecue Joint in Nashville, I think. If people ask me, what do you do, or what is that, I can tell them a story. I have pins here from like every facet of where I've lived. I have an Indiana pin, University of Kansas pin, Arkansas pin. For me personally, it's like a nice way to have a visual self-expression. That's a little bit of a stretch, but it's true. And also a good reminder, of where you have been and what you've done, and what you're interested in. I have this Bigfoot pin that says, "I've got nothing to prove to you people." And that's true. I don't got nothing to prove. I've done my stuff, but it's also Bigfoot, and I love Bigfoot. He's here in Washington somewhere. Let's be real. I'm gonna get the fat down. It has a lot of fat, a lot of hard fat, and we're gonna try and get it down so that the fat cap is only about 1/4 of an inch thick. But in between the two parts of the brisket, you've got this decal, which is just a layer of fat that runs through the whole thing. And some of it will render out, some of it won't. I'm gonna get as much out of it as I can. What I like and enjoy about smoking food is you get to be creative. I like to experiment with different rubs, with different sauces, with different meats. I like to play around. You won't master it ever. So I know that's the slogan, I'm sorry. It's part of learning. It's a life skill, you know. You have hobbies not because you have this idea of one day stopping them. I wouldn't say it's taken over my life, but it has definitely become a part of my personality. My friends and family and even my colleagues at school where I work think, you know, they have, what'd you smoke this weekend? You know, it's a part of what I do, and I kind of like that. You know, you want to learn, constantly tweak things, and the journey doesn't stop. You just get better and better and better. For me, smoking is, you know, it's more about having a good time and enjoying ourselves, which I think is important, you know.